Right, welcome back to GMT's at any cost Metz 1870, 5 p.m. game turn on A Day of Battle Mars the Tour playthrough. Yes, we had a very truncated turn last turn, and with a lull in the battle, and not much happened, although I think a few cracks in the Prussians have started to show, but we'll see. We'll see if it goes anywhere further. So this turn we have some Prussian reinforcements that actually appeared down on the right flank here. It's an infantry brigade and a battle-worn artillery unit from the 8th Corps. So that's an interesting spot to come in on. Yeah, now that's there, and I think there's some more next turn from 9th Corps that come in at that point. I think the Imperial Guard might get a little distracted from getting down to Flavigny, but we'll see what's what. Right, we've got the chit cup sorted, and yeah, we'll pull the first chit. Okay, so the first one out of the cup is it's the Fortunes of War chit. So we have to do that wonderful roll which got us the short turn last turn. So let's see what the result is this time. We scored a 3, and the 3 is the degrade. So let's see what chit we have to degrade. Okay, a little bit of an anticlimax. It's the 3rd Cavalry Division for the French. So essentially nothing really happens to them because they don't get to move and they're way behind the lines. They're all the way up here. So yeah, just struggling a little bit with the focus here, but yeah, they're up there. So it's basically a miss a turn really for them. Anyway, let's see about the next chit. So we have the Prussian aggressive tactics chit for the French. Yes, interesting. Let's see what we do with that. Okay, we'll have to do a little bit of analysis. Yeah, it would be great to send one of the Prussian infantry units out. Yeah. Okay, so what we could do is we could move this Prussian infantry unit. Let me zoom in. Which is under the cube. Let's move that for the moment. Get this guy moved. I think actually up here to engage this unit here. It's probably the toughest that 6th Corps have got. So yes, and it'll also take some defensive fire getting there as well. So yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. So we'll move to there, and we'll do some firing. Oh, well, don't really have much firing there at all. So the stack is worth 0, so we'll ignore that. Push them up to here, and now we'll have a fire from the infantry and the mitrailleurs, which gives us a 10. 10 up to upper column for French infantry shift, and yeah, let's see how that goes. Yeah, pretty good actually. Got a 97 there, so that's it's quite devastating. That's a cohesion hit and a morale test. So the cohesion hit first, and then the morale test is a failure. So okay, and then we've got an assault combat to do. So we have 2 factors facing 6. So that's a -4 to start with. Upper column for Prussian infantry. Down a column for the TCR difference, and the odds are, yeah, that's going to be, let's see, 6, yeah, that's going to be 1 to 3, so it's another 2 shifts. Yeah, so on the -5 column, doesn't sound like it's going to be too good. We have a 3, definitely not. It's a 3 as the result, and that's including a star, so we need to make a break test, which it does pass. How well though? Yeah, it remains in place. So yeah, that's the Prussian aggressive tactics. That's kind of set the cat among the pigeons, really, hasn't it? So the infantry is not looking so happy here in the Buddenbrock division, and there's a nice gap at Vionville has appeared. Let's see what happens. It's a panic test shit for the Prussians. Well, we've had the aggressiveness, and there's only a reinforcement for next turn. That is the last one, so that can't be improved. So there's no point in using this on a track. In which case, well, I think we will keep this. Yeah, this can get a sort of cascade morale problem with the French going. So certainly, the Prussians will keep this for later in the turn. And what's the next chip? This is going to make a big difference. We've got the French 6th Corps, which is the corps sitting right outside of Vionville. That's going to see that sequencing is significant now. So let's see how we go. I'll do some fire combat and moving around. Okay, so what we've done is we've moved the infantry brigade from here into here, the toughest one, along with the artillery from here into Vionville to capture it. The other brigade of that division has moved back to sit with the artillery and mitrailleurs unit, and the unit that was here, 2 Brigade, has moved next to the town of Flavigny, but we won't do an assault yet. It's in too good a state there. And yeah, we've taken the disruptions off this unit and one off the artillery there. I'll just do a quick attempt to get a hasty works here, I think. Need a 7 or less, and we get a 7, so get some extra protection here. It'd be quite useful. Okay, and so that's the 6th Corps done. Yeah, it's looking a lot better for the French now. And we have the Prussian 5th Cavalry Division, and those guys are just up here. And I think it's time for the cavalry part of that division to get out of the way. It got slaughtered last turn from the shooting along this ridge here from the French 3rd Corps, so certainly defensive. We can fire the horse artillery though, that's quite happy to sit in place. It's much tougher. So we're working on this unit here. As it's in the ravine, it's got 2 shifts to the right on the fire combat table, so it's a lot easier to hit. So we'll fire these 2 guys off. That's a 3 plus 1, 4, and then 2 shifts gets us to the 6 to 7 line, and let's roll for that. Oh, we get an 11, which is nothing but a lower ammo counter. Let's try firing the other one, same column. Well, sort of better. We've got a 10. Let's see where we are. A 10 gets us on the where were we? 3. Column 3 and up 3. The 6 to 7 line is a casualty hit. So okay. That was a 10 and a 1, so yeah, but we didn't need the morale test dice. So that's first casualty hit on the 3rd Corps, and it hasn't even really gone into combat properly. Then our movement and some rallying, I think, is in order. Okay, so we pull the cavalry back. We got rid of the shaker marker here, and we also got rid of the low ammo on that artillery unit there. So on to the next one, which is the Prussian 8th Corps. This is the reinforcements. So they're coming on down here. Just get them in shot. So they'll just be moving on, so I will now do that. Okay, and that's completed. So on to the next one. That's a battlefield conditions chit for the Prussians, and I think we'll hold on to that for some fire later on in the turn. more Prussian event chits. So we've got inspirational leadership now. That's a sort of multi-use chit, so we'll keep that as well. And next up we've got the Imperial Guard. So that's an interesting one. I'll have to contemplate that one. Right, so I've moved the Imperial Guard here. We have got some out of command movement as well, only slight, and yeah, we're trying to get into this this area here, looking to replace the second corps, and maybe get back into Flavigny and leave 6th Corps to go that way. I did make a mistake with the 6th Corps. I didn't put an out of command sheet on that. I redid that, but it came out with a frozen out of command sheet, so it didn't move anyway. So no change there. Right, so the next sheet that's come out is the command initiative. So this allows the French to change the posture of a Prussian HQ. I think that's probably worth preventing the Bazaines Malaise chit, so we'll put that on the chart there, and so we'll put out another chit. That's another chit for the French, the panic test. Again, can't really guarantee that there's going to be much retreat from the Prussian side, so again, I think it's probably worth putting on the Bazaines leadership track to stop the Malaise chit. Okay, so let's keep on going. Okay, so this is the French 2nd Corps now, and it's in a bit of a sorry state. Could do with trying to do a lot of rebuilding. It has a lot of units. If I just move into there, everything on the left hand side of the box is 2nd Corps, and even though they're fairly weak, those infantry units would be quite useful on the fire combat table with a shift upwards for their rifles. So yeah, let's I'll sort out some combat and some movement here, and rallying, see where we are. Okay, that's complete. We have just a bit better in focus if I can. Yeah, so we've kind of clustered. The HQ is here. We've moved back the low ammo artillery unit from here back up here, so we could get rid of the low ammo underneath the leader. We haven't done it yet. We've removed the lower ammo and shaker marker from this unit, which has moved across. It's going to leave room for the Imperial Guard to take over here, and a morale step under there as well. So we haven't quite got to the starting to roll for the other units, but once we clean that around, the core rate artillery will move back because it's next to useless. It's disrupted and it's got low ammo, and it can't get rid of that low ammo for the game. So it's a ghost of a unit, really. Yeah, so hopefully we should see next turn. I'll bring the Imperial Guard in to take these 2 strong points here. The Picard division working on this side, and the Deligny. Well, we've got a brigade here. The 2nd Brigade is way up still, out of command. Yeah, that's starting to be organised properly. Okay, so let's carry on with the the next ship. And it's the French 1st Cavalry Division. Okay, so that's where that is. It's just a single hex cavalry unit and artillery unit. It's only light cavalry, so we don't want it to do too much work. It's not particularly great on the TCR either, but the horse artillery unit, hopefully we've been trying to hit that cavalry unit so far, get it out of the way. I think we will back the cavalry off because we have a Prussian artillery unit here to fire, and it's going to do a lot of damage. So sending this unit behind the horse artillery would be a good idea. And yeah, so we'll fire first, and then we'll move the cavalry unit back to here, and that should be it for them. Right, we've done that. We fired the horse artillery over here. We got a second morale hit, so it's undisrupted now. So I think it's doing its job for the moment. That's what we've got from the cavalry division. So who's next? We have the Prussian 3rd Corps. There we go. And it is not in as great a state as it was. Yeah. Right, well, we've got our wonderful phalanx here of big artillery units. That's the core of the corps, if you so to speak. We have the brigade, Buddenbrock's brigade, which has had a bit of a torrid time last turn with the Prussian aggressive tactics shit, and Stolpnagel's here in possession of Flavigny, but yeah, possibly going to be under pressure this turn. I think we'll certainly fire off the artillery. I don't see, we could move this one further up. His range is only getting into that hex, although that is a critical hex. And yeah, we might keep him there and fire those off. These two artillery units can pound this hex. Hopefully these two can keep the French off Flavigny now, by just being pounding anything that comes near it. We'll probably put these guys, attempt to put them in hasty works because they're very good TCR. Over here, yeah, not quite sure what we can do about that. I think he has to retire, I think, because the fire strength coming out of here is very big. Not to mention what's going to start coming out of Vionville, and he needs to retire, and maybe we can look to get the Kirko brigade, the Kirko division of the 10th Corps to come along and help. We can't build back the Buddenbrock 11th brigade yet because it only got eliminated this turn, but we bring that the next turn, and then we've at least got something here. But yeah, it's down to the artillery for them, I think, in the main. So I'll just sort through all that. Okay, that's complete. We fired our artillery off into there, causing a casualty hit, but getting a lower ammo marker. These two fired into here. We've managed a casualty hit and morale degradation on both of those. Again, this artillery unit got a low ammo marker, and we moved this guy back, and these two infantry brigades got hasty works markers to try and hold on to Flavigny. And in the rally phase, we took these two markers off and removed the disrupted marker from the unit there. So it's again the artillery that's doing the damage here. This looks very precarious, but this infantry unit I don't think really has the strength to do anything about it. We did use the battlefield conditions marker here to get an extra 2 shifts on this this combat, and yeah, it did get us the better result. But that's so that's all the 3rd Corps. And let's get on with the next chit. Okay. Right, and that's the I just realised a mistake here. So when I pulled out the guard counter before, I presumed it was the Imperial Guard for the French army. In fact, actually, it was the Prussian one, as you can see here with the grey border. And actually, I've just now pulled out the real Imperial Guard counter here, and so what I will do is I will just swap those 2 over. So I will now do the Prussian Guard instead, of which there's only 2 units who are out of command. Here, horse artillery and cavalry. And let's see what we do with those. Pick our out of command markers for them. There's no HQ. And let's take them in order. Maybe the horse artillery in first place is cautious, so it does get a half fire, and will fire off at this horse artillery, I think. So that's on the 1 chart with 1 shift for Prussian artillery. It's on the 2 chart, and let's see if we have any effect. A 61. Yeah, it doesn't quite get us anywhere. That's no effect. And with the okay, we get a withdraw marker for the Prussian Guard cavalry, would you believe? So withdraw, have to move 2 hexes away. Okay, maybe they didn't like what we're seeing happening to the 10th Corps cavalry unit here, so we'll move it back to there, and that's their turn. And yeah, look more carefully at the chits next time. They're of course the same colour, but it's just the border that's different. Okay, so we got 3rd Bataillon chit here. Now, as far as the French have been, we've had the 6th, the 2nd and the Imperial card go, so this is all static. We've had 3rd Prussian Corps and the 8th Corps. Let me just modify this. Yeah, so this area is fairly well dealt with. There's only the 6th Cavalry Division for the Prussians that hasn't actually had an activation out of this group here with the Flavigny-Vionville area, Raisonville area. But everything's yet to go up here. However, making sure a French unit gets fire bonuses but doesn't move isn't going to be helping us very much, I don't think. We need everybody outside this area to move, so again I think this is a good chit to put on the command chart, so we've got the maximum protection from Bazaines and melees, which will help with the movement as well. And there you go, we get the Prussian 6th Cavalry there to activate afterwards. Yeah, I think their current policy of shooting their horse artillery and hiding their cavalry is probably the best thing to do. So we'll just do a shot here, maybe into this one here, this stack here. I think it hasn't got a hasty works marker. It's within range, so 2 increasing to 3 on the far chart here. Let's quickly do that. Oh, we get a very good roll. We get a 97. So on a 3 column, 97. Well, that's roll test +1, which becomes an 8. So an 8 will actually shake both of those units. So it's worth the shot. And the rally will remove the shaken marker from that artillery unit as well. And that's the 6th Cavalry Division's turn. And who's next? Maybe we'll get something substantial going on the left flank here of the Prussians. Beaten zone kit. Okay, so we may well get some firing happening on the left flank. And yeah, over here. Now we could use that chit, or we could put it on Bazaine's chit, the French offensive track, to get Bazaine's chit next turn, which may well be a lot more useful than it was the last turn it was available. And yeah, maybe you could use it to hurry up some of the stragglers as well, and directly order those. Yeah. Yes, I think we'll do that. We'll put it on the French offensive spirit track. Okay, let's keep going. It's the French Reserve Artillery. Okay, so that's the 2 units here. So HQ and 2 artillery units, 1 rather large horse artillery unit there, and the ordinary other unit here. So we have the HQ on defensive. However, to get it anywhere, we want to use this road. It might be an idea for the Prussians to then play. Oh no, they don't have that shit. I was thinking of the command initiative, but that was the French and they placed it on the track. So yeah, we'll just move these guys down the road here, I think. So I'll just do that. Okay, so that's complete. And yeah, next chit, I think. Okay, the Prussian General Staff chit had quite an effect on this game so far. What we would look to do now, yes, we could look to fend more French units from Flavigny. However, that unit is not close enough to take part in the division, and yeah, that's possibly not working. Might actually hold on to it because it's very likely now that the 3rd corps will move, so it might be useful to do an extra move over here with 10th corps. It's also possibly bring the Kirko Brigade up before 3rd moves. Yeah, that might well be an option. Although we possibly wanted to help over here. Yes. I think that's probably a good idea, is to move across and to take part of that territory over from the 3rd corps. The 3rd corps can concentrate further down here. Okay, so we will use the chit. Okay, that looks altogether more impressive. Although now we're left with the single brigade of 10th corps over here with the 5th Cavalry Division to cover this. That might be inadequate, but well, let's see what happens. And we've got the 4th Corps of the French, who are straggling along up here, and that's just a movement that will be. So let's get on with that. Okay, so that's completed. They're a little bit nearer the front. Our extreme stragglers over on this side of the board here got a half move, so they moved a hex. Ho-hum. So I'm not sure they'll be any good in this battle at all, but still. 4th Corps are getting there. That's all that can be said. Next up we have... here comes the chit. Bazane's Malaise. So we need to do a roll, and on a 1 to 9, that chit will not operate. It's a 9, so that's good enough. So that chit is actually inactive. So let's keep moving. And like clockwork, we get 3rd Corps, which probably would have suffered on the Malaise chit. So, out of focus again, sorry. So, 3rd Corps here. We might get down and dirty and just zoom in on here and see what we're likely to do. So we have a line of gunners here, a decent horse artillery, and we've got mitrailleurs here as well. And I need to take care of these Prussian horse artillery first, and then bring our cavalry maybe across this stream if we can, and the rest of the infantry up. and we've still got the core artillery straggling in the starting position, and an entire division coming along the road from Metz, way behind. So I'll do all that and see where we get. Okay, so we've completed our movement, and position ourselves correctly here. So we can focus easier. Okay, so the Mont division here has come through and survived the canister fire from these Prussian guns, and are now going to try and assault them. Everything else has moved up to come across the bridge, and this lone unit coming across the ravine has got across now. And what I think I'll use now, which is haven't actually used it at all in this battle yet, is the retire before combat capability for these Prussian. Yeah, so what happens with the retreat before combat, particularly with regards to the artillery, then you can actually retreat, but you automatically take a morale hit, which I think would be reasonable. These guys need to fall back to their division. It uncovers Mars-le-Tour town, but that was the idea anyway. I don't want to do a half combat with these. They are very useful guns actually, and with that retire, then the French units can actually follow up. Although maybe that's not the best idea. Put yourself right in front of the guns. Certainly I'll move this forward. I might leave this guy behind. Real reason is that we have the mitrailleurs here that can provide a really good fire down here if necessary. And moving the unit up means it effectively shields those units from its fire. So I think we'll leave it as that. Yeah, that's the oh, and apologies, that should actually be at the aggressive area. So yeah, that's all done. And then next we have a Krupp's Guns event. That's very interesting. We could fire off, I'll zoom back in, fire off this Prussian artillery. Yeah, that's probably worth doing, I think. We'll use that, and we might use the inspirational leadership, I think, to remove the shaken marker from here beforehand, so we get a full fire. So that's 3 factors. It's 4.5 for the canister, so it's a 4, and up one, another one, up to the 5 column. And then Krupp's Guns, I believe, give us a modifier. No, it's just the opportunity to fire. So it's on the 5 chart. So let's see what happens. 71 is hit, but no morale effect on that. Okie doke. So those 2 have been used. would have been quite good, because, you know, if something great had happened, then maybe the panic test chit may have helped. Still, anyway, let's move on. A beaten zone for the French. I'm not sure they've got very much else to come out to actually operate. So maybe third cavalry corps. No, they've gone as well. So it's not really going to be very useful. I will put it on the offensive spirit chart to try and get Bazane's CNC chip for next turn. So I'll keep going. And we have Prussia's tentacle. Okay, so we have a section of the corps. You could say the strongest part of the corps is actually over here now, and it is effectively split. So we have a lot of out of command units here. Maybe something to be said for doing something over here to try and fend off the advancing French infantry. Yeah, let's look at that. Okay, so I'll just sort all that out. Okay, we fired off the infantry here to no effect. We couldn't fire the artillery because of the blocking artillery unit there. So in the movement phase, I swapped these guys round. I pulled the cavalry back and rallied it to remove the morale marker. And over here, it didn't really go very well. We had a frozen here. So that artillery unit didn't do anything, and this unit actually had to withdraw. So yeah, it looks impressive, but without the command, it's a bit haphazard here. The core artillery got a half move. It's now within range, so it will be under command next turn as well. Okay, let's move on. Okay, sorry for the background noise there, but yeah, our last chit, inspirational leadership for the Prussians. Useful to get rid of some morale, I think, but that's probably it. Although there's not a lot of morale markers to deal with, I think maybe we'll just remove that one. And the panic test is not going to mean anything for this turn. And that's all the chits. So housekeeping. We have no command chits for the Prussians over here, but we do have the three that help get rid of the Malaise chit, and these two gives us a chance to get the Marshal Bazane CNC chit for next turn, and that chance is a 1 to 4, so let's roll that. We get a 10, so that didn't work. Never mind. Okay, so that's our turn for 5 PM. Moving on to 6 PM soon. That's with 6 PM, there's 4 turns to go. We do get some more reinforcements next turn for the Prussians, the last set, and these are with the 8th Corps we get the 9th Corps, so down here we'll get some more units coming on here, so there'll be quite a fight here. You know, is there going to be some strength where the Prussians can try and bust through the Imperial Guard here and get to Raisonville and get the major victory? It's possible. But anyway, thanks for watching, and so we've got some out of focus shots there for a while, but yeah, hopefully I'll keep more attention on that. But thanks for watching anyway, and see you next time for the 6 p.m. turn. Thanks for watching.